Hello, Mark Red Larson here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining us. Today, my guest is Samuel Hansen.
Yep,
So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Doing well.
So, I think we got to know each other. You're from Minden, where I'm
Yep,
located at. I think maybe when I was doing handyman and you were doing, I think that's probably how. So,
yep.
were you from Minden?
Yeah, born in Kearney, raised in Minden. But yeah,
Okay.
I've been there my
Okay.
entire life.
Okay, I did not know that. So in Minden, what do you do or what don't you do?
Yeah, I do. Well, construction is my profession. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I started at a real young age with that. My dad was paraplegic, so
Wow.
since he was 18, and then they had me
Wow.
when he was 34, I think, and then so yeah, that things need to get done. That's how I learned. For school
Wow.
hard
Yeah.
knocks for sure.
Yeah.
So,
That is learning
so it was legit
by fire.
hands-on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't get up on ladders or do some of that. He did a lot for being him. He did a lot of things, and that's how I learned what I do. But anyways, yeah, construction's my profession, and
So
yeah,
did you like construction when you started it that way, or was it
yeah,
something?
yeah. I actually enjoyed doing roofs. So, but
Roofs, oh.
yeah.
Wow.
I didn't mind it. I really enjoyed drywall. I love doing mudding and stuff like that.
I admire you because I know how hard that is to get
That was my
to hide your tape joints and all that stuff and not put too much mud on. That would be me. So,
still
um,
go by hand. A lot of I don't. We have the tools now because my hands getting sore and stuff. But I still do. I sling it all by hand and stuff out of pan. I like doing it. So.
wow, and back shoulders and all that stuff.
I've had my shoulder all redone. So yeah, except
Ready
the
for
roto.
more.
Yeah, yeah. Left one's been okay. My back is no bueno, but that's a long story from something else.
Yeah.
So, but then construction no help. Yeah,
No,
so.
it does not.
So,
Let me tell you, I can tell you from that. And I wasn't. I was just. I did a lot of talking in my
yeah.
one mind. So, but okay. So when you were growing up, I always ask this on the Dreamcatcher podcast. What was your dream? What did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, actually, military was one of my biggest things I wanted
Really?
to go to. Yeah. And then, like I said, I messed my back up, so that was out. My brother was actually recruiting at the time when I was getting to age where I could have gone. And then, but I was like, I don't think they'll pass me with my back issues. So so construction it was. And then, I don't know, I was, every kid liked being a firefighter.
Oh yeah,
Cop, stuff like
that's
that.
true.
Dad was in law enforcement. So I always seen the blue and red lights, all the stuff like that. So those are my main things.
So
Shooting sports were huge for me. I love
really
shooting. So
okay.
that would have been, but I didn't know much about competitions at that time to travel and do a lot of that. So we did some trap and stuff traveling. But
Okay.
it wasn't, I don't know. We just didn't really pursue it too hard. So otherwise
Okay.
that would have been a big one.
So
Get paid to shoot would have been awesome.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So like you said with the firefighter stuff, would you ever want to go into that? I mean, you just add one more thing to you.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
I still think about it time to time, but no,
Okay.
not quite my. It's not high on my priority.
Good.
I have things to try, I guess. But
So the things you do, we were just talking that you have a lot of things that you're interested in. So
yeah.
how long you been doing like the one that which one do you like the most, or do you have one that's a favorite that you do?
Hobby wise, well, muzzle loading, shooting black powder, the
Okay.
1800s stuff
Wow.
is my biggest thing. So that's yeah, my wife got me into that. Otherwise, like I say, we shot a lot of modern 22s.
Sure.
Competed with that a little bit here and there, shotgun big time. And then I met my wife, and then she got me introduced to the muzzleloader world. So
Okay.
so it's 1830s style. So you period correct. So you dress. You don't have to, but most do. Once you get into it, it
Yeah,
starts to take over. So
I
you
can understand that.
start sewing up your own stuff, start tanning your own hides, start doing a lot of that stuff.
How do you learn like to tan hides and do all that stuff?
YouTube's a big one. Help.
Well, I can
at
see
that
that,
time
yeah.
long. But I have a buddy that tans hides, and he showed me quite a bit of things too. So
So the process of tanning a hide, how long is that quite a long process or?
yeah, it can be. It depends on how you do it. I haven't done a full on brain tan style. I've done more of I slip it. You put the hides in a barrel with lime, and they slip the hides,
Okay.
and then you neutralize it with vinegar and water and stuff, and then you clean it, and then stretch it, and then I just use different like neat's foot oil and some other softening oils and stuff put in, and then stretch it. It turns out pretty good, and then you smoke it. Essentially, brain tan's the same thing. Brain tan is
Really?
it's just
Okay.
oils in the brains that do it. So every animal has enough brains to do their own hide except buffalo. So that's the only exception. They use bone marrow and that to tan the hide because it's such a
Interesting.
large hide. So, but yeah, so got into it that way. But yeah, sewed our own stuff and then shoot a lot of flintlocks, muskets, smoothbore muskets, cap lock rifles, and stuff like that. And then I built a few. Got into that, so then I started building my own rifles there.
So you built your own rifle?
Yeah, I buy the parts, but then our neighbor had a tree line they cut out, and I seen a branch over there, and I was like, "Hey, you mind if I have that?" And it was in the shape of a gun.
Perfect.
So the whole grain of the wood was perfect.
Uh-huh.
So I took it back home and I split it, and I built 2 rifles out of that one log. And I hand scraped probably 80% of it, and then used routers and chisels and chiseled it all together. And I have a gunsmith buddy help me with some of the machining and stuff that I can't do. I don't have the machines to do that. But but yeah, so I built. Oh my goodness, I put together. I should say put together, but I put together, I think 3 of them. I have in Ohio or Lancaster, Ohio, which is taller than me almost.
Okay.
And then 2 Kentucky's a flinter, and my percussion cap, which is a Hatfield. So they're both 4-bore rifles, kind of is what they are. So that's the thing is like that they had whatever they had at the time, that's what they did, and
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
they use what you had.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the mindset I went into this game, and so.
Wow.
That's then your whole style persona comes off of that. In my opinion, that's what I did. So
makes sense too.
But when
how long have you been doing that then?
Oh God, 20 years or more.
Okay.
So I've been I think 20 years I think. So yeah, button buckskinning, doing that stuff, shooting competitions. Yeah, I've got a couple state records still. I think still have them.
Cool.
Yeah, because every state has them.
Really?
For the most part, yeah. Kentucky, Indiana. We've had people from Missouri join the Nebraska group, come down here. Dwayne Sumter, if he's out there, here's this, still the man. So he's a phenomenal shooter. I might have got some of your records though, buddy. So, but yeah, so it.
So
yeah.
you go to travel to other states too?
Yeah, we go to Kansas. So Kansas. So this that's a big one. They always have Kansas, Nebraska. They call it KNEB.
Okay.
So they have like 6 guys from each team shoot. I mean, there's a tons of shooters. So you shoot the main competition. There's steel you shoot and whatnot. But then at the end of it, so who gets the bragging rights? You have a team of 6, and usually shoot a post in half. So they have markings where you got to shoot the post in half.
Wow.
And then sometimes they say, nope, you got to shoot it clean in half. You can't shoot the top of the post, snap it off once it gets down to the twig. But yeah, it's been oh man, I got some stories on that one. I don't know if I can say it on air or not, but yeah. So
pretty much. I mean, you can if you want. It's up to you.
So one of them we won. I wasn't planning on shooting it because I'd shot the year before we won. And then we're back again. So I go sit with some of the kids. I know a lot of the shooters, Kansas and everything. So I'm hanging with them. Well, they start feeding me alcohol and drinking and whatnot. Because we're all done. I was
of course, yeah. Got to do that.
And so we're getting a little hooted up. And then some of the guys, they come over and hey, you got to get ready. We got to shoot. I'm like, I'm not. Like, this is not going to go well. I was like, well, okay. So I grabbed my stuff and yeah, I didn't reload my powder horn, so whatever powder I had in my horn, that was it.
That was it.
And then caps on my, oh my goodness. So we get up, we start shooting, and I said, I'll shoot the center, and the guy's like, oh no, you start shooting the sides, you can hit those.
Right.
And the big bore 68 caliber round balls, they were shooting the center to blow more wood off, and I took my tomahawk too, and that's not really, you're not supposed to. You don't use that on that competition, but I'm kind of rowdy once in a while, so let's tuck it in my belt.
There you go.
And we're shooting this thing, and I ran out of powder. And I'm like, Frenchie, I need powder. So he dumps, like, we count 3 count of powder in the thing and throw a ball down. Because you're supposed to measure it. Stuff like that. It's not wise to dump out of the horn because if there was one spark, boom, not good. But either way, we kind of threw a ball down and boom. So this will probably a 1 count. This next one, and we ended up winning. But I threw my tomahawk at it because we were down to a nub, and I grabbed it and threw, and I missed it. I landed right in front of the post. Those guys would be mad if I chopped it off with that. They would have been pissed. And then we shot their post in half, and yeah, it was a good time. But I think they were trying to get me out of the game.
Yeah, I think maybe.
But we still got it, so I wasn't that bad, but it's still, drinking and shooting don't mix, not good. But,
no,
sometimes those rendezvous get a little.
Maybe just a little bit might be just enhancing.
Oh yeah.
You never know.
But historically, if you're going to keep it correct, I mean, how many of those guys? That's what rendezvous were. The buckskinners come out of the mountains with all their hides. They go to this rendezvous, and then they'd sell all their hides. They get the liquor they want, all their restock their stuff, and then up the mountains they go for another 6 months or so and trap. So it's those guys, if you're out in the sticks by yourself for that
Right,
long,
yeah.
you need to get
will.
cut loose. It's
You
just no
definitely
different
do.
than nowadays. So, yeah.
So how does somebody that would be interested in like that get into that world?
Just type in like Nebraska Muzzleloader Association,
Okay.
or
Okay.
United Nebraska Muzzleloader Association. I've been involved with both of them for all these years.
Really?
And stuff.
Okay.
I was even on the boards. I didn't even plan on getting into the politics of it. But I had a buddy. He was getting out, and he signed me up, and that's all it takes.
Yeah.
And I tend to like to talk. So if any meetings and
good.
stuff you go into, you talk, you're gonna get
That yeah.
you're gonna get promoted.
That,
So
that I'm sure.
So,
No.
but that's how people find out. And then once you go to like convention every year is in Kearney.
Oh really? Okay.
They have flyers, so then you get to see where all these rendezvous and stuff are at. So, but I mean, we're shooting, like I say, cap locks, traditional flint locks, muskets, archery. Oh my goodness, yeah, I guess more of my hobbies get into. So traditional archery, pistol matches, knife and hawk. So
Wow.
there's a lot of those competitions and stuff. And it's not like the hawk and knife is not like what you see in the well, now they're like axe holes and stuff where it's a set distance. That's a different throwing style.
Yeah.
What we do is mountain man style. I think it's actually what they call it.
Okay.
So we actually go through woods walks and stuff. So the logs we throw at are placed you cannot pace them off. You're on at unknown distances. You got to stick them and throw them. And that's how you get your points, stuff like that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yep. I mean, the branches could be anywhere from 3 inches,
Right.
in diameter, which is a tough target to stick into,
Wow.
even with the blade of a knife, you know what I mean? So, a lot of that.
So this probably goes on year round, or
It's
mainly?
it's year round. We do
Okay.
winter shoots, so yeah, I had a bad story on that one 4 years back. I burned my tent down. That was a
Oh really? So
devastating.
so how'd you do that?
That was so they have a winter shoot and it's a charity, so you donate soup and stuff, you shoot competition and stuff like that, and then they have a big trophy. Well, I've been on that thing, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. I was trying to get 8. There's one of the top shooters back in the day had his name on it 8 times. I was like, I'm gonna beat this dude's record and all this jazz. But we were there and we had like 2 foot of snow or so I scooped all that out. I was in the sticks and set my diamond fly. What a diamond fly is just a square tarp. And
Okay.
you put a pole in the center, a rope or whatever, and then you tie the front off with another rope and you stake down 3 corners.
Okay.
So it's all open front tent.
Okay, I
You
see
can
what you
do a
mean.
reflector wall if you want. So I
Okay.
shrunk this thing down pretty small and I had all my firewood behind me and I built the fire probably 4 foot by 16 inches or so. So
Okay.
it'd keep me warm.
Right.
'Cause it was, well, God, I think it got down to like negative 28 that weekend.
Whoa, that
It
warm.
was cold. Yeah, that warm, yeah. And we go play cards and stuff, come back, check the fire, throw some more on, getting it built. So the next time I come out, I'm going to crash, go to sleep,
Right.
and come back, and my tent's burned. It's gone. And
Oh, see, it's
it
gone.
was
Oh, wow.
Burned. My coat that I made was burnt to nothing.
Oh,
My
that's
eyes,
bad.
it was bad. What had happened was what the tree I tied off to, it was pretty dead. So it
Okay.
burned a root. That root was still on the ground, of course. And so when it got hot enough, it burned that root. You could see an ice tunnel of where it melted that all the way to the tree. Caught that on fire. Caught my tent. And dropped. So thank God I wasn't inside the tent. 'Cause
That is good, but that's, I mean, that's, otherwise that seems like bad luck.
Yeah, it was bad luck.
So-
3 o'clock in the morning is we.
And that's what you really wanted to do at 3 o'clock in the morning, too.
I had another tent with me, and that didn't go. So I was like, well, I guess I can set that up. And my buddy Vern, he's like, God, he's one of my best friends. He's like,
Uh-huh.
no time for pride, Sam. Just come sleep in my tent. That was
That's
a cold,
awesome.
cold night. But everybody looks out for each other in these deals.
Which is
It-
really cool, too. That's
so,
what it should be.
It's
I mean,
it's a family. I mean, honestly, you get into this sport, you're not going to meet a better group of people. They'll bring you in, they'll help you out, teach you everything you need to know. Definitely, those old timers are the ones to learn from.
Oh, I
I mean,
bet.
'cause they've been through a lot back in the long
Yeah.
time ago. So
Yeah.
not the modern advances we have now to get things made and done. So it's the skills are pretty
Yeah.
amazing. So
No. So do you do reenactments then?
it's kind of it's not like the Civil War reenactments. So no, we
Okay.
don't do that. So
Okay.
the most part of it is keeping period correct clothing, the buttons, the rope, all of that stuff to what they would have used in 1830s. And then if you get recognized enough, you actually can get invited to certain rendezvous that are
Wow.
specifically. And I got invited to some in Kansas.
Okay.
It's like a packet. So that was a lot of fun. So
So where do you find period clothing? Do you make it? Or
make it.
You just
Yeah.
make it.
Make
Okay.
it. And then you can find some.
Okay.
So at convention, there's people that sell period correct clothing and stuff like that. I made out of muslin, your shirts and all that stuff.
Okay.
So and then cotton, all that stuff, and
So you try to stick to the fibers you had. No polyester.
no polyester, no. So
That's a good thing.
yeah, so that's honestly where you get into. So yeah, 'cause my first outfit wasn't nothing like period correct. Really, it was more late 1800s, so like 1850, I would say. I don't know. It's kind of going for like a Young Guns, Jesse James.
Sure, right.
look,
Oh, there you go.
And I had a lot of compliments on it, and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. There's all kinds of different styles. People show up. Buckskinners, some show up like more of a southwestern style.
Right.
I got a sombrero and I got a bunch of that stuff. I'm
Okay.
trying to work on
Cool.
that attire for. A lot of people change it through the whole weekends
Yeah.
and areas. There's week-long shoots and stuff. It's
Wow.
it's a lot of fun.
That's
So.
amazing. So is there anything you in that area that you haven't done yet that you want to still do?
No. Well, what I've been wanting to and work towards was going to Friendship, Indiana, and shoot there. This the Nationals. I've had buddies that gone up there and shot. They're like, you do just fine. So, I mean, I paid attention to the scores. I don't know if I would now because I haven't shot for about a year and a half.
Uh-huh.
So my groupings are probably not where they used to be. But that's on my bucket list of things to do. And my son's really getting into it again. My daughters,
That's awesome.
they all shoot. They've had some records. So,
Cool.
it's a big shooting sport that people really don't know much about or appreciate yet. I was really pushing a lot of video and stuff, trying to get that promoted.
Yeah.
I put on some shoots called Battle of the Clubs to unite the old state. I tried.
Oh, really? Okay, that's cool.
Other than state shoot, because you get a lot of shooters, but I wanted a team wanted to see. Well, all right, maybe get some bragging rights. Who's
Exactly.
the best area in Nebraska? Which club is the top dog, and then that would motivate them to come shoot against each other more often. That shoot went real good, but then I got COVID kind of took us out. I hate COVID. I hate seeing COVID, but that. It just at the time it was very beginning of it, so we didn't know much about it, and we had a bunch of older people, and I didn't want them to get sick, so I canceled the shoot. Then we had prior to that was the flood that washed out the range, so that was toast. And I'm like, man, I don't know. But,
like you were probably wondering what's next.
But the shoots in general went really well. Everybody really enjoyed them. So and it was a.
Did your wife shoot?
Oh yeah, she's the one that got me into it.
She is.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's better shot than I am. She's amazing. So
you better not make her mad then.
Yeah, no. So she's an amazing shot. We all have our own gear. I made her possibles bags, and horns. I like making all the stuff to go with the attire. So the powder horns, hand rasping, all those, scrimshawing in them. I love doing that stuff.
So do you do stuff like, because we were talking about you're on TikTok. Do you do stuff like that on TikTok?
I don't. I should, but I don't.
Okay.
And I don't have the editing stuff. Otherwise, I would. I do seminars for archery, so I do a lot of Native American style arrows. So every deer season, wherever I'm at, I usually try to find. I have a certain thicket I like to go into, and I cut the shafts.
Okay.
And then we shave them down, and then I straighten them and stuff like that. I flint knap the arrowheads. Usually English flint or obsidian. I like obsidian a lot.
Okay.
That wouldn't be technically period in this vicinity unless someone traded. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
what you mean.
I just like flint knapping, stone tips, and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could do all kinds of stuff. I mean, you could do a podcast, but you could do TikToks. I mean, you could a blog. You could do a lot of stuff on social media. So no. So you have so many hobbies. I mean, like I know you like cars a lot too. So how did that interest start?
So that one, really, my mom and dad had a Chevelle, and that was my dad's. That was my dad's thing, was the cars and stuff.
Okay.
So we had the garage, and we'd have one half of it would be wood shop, the other half would be auto or whatever. So we'd have to move stuff around, and then of course if anything needed to be moved or done, I no matter what, I was my dad's right hand man. I was his legs. I had to get up. I had to do things.
Right.
Anyways, but yeah, so the Chevelle was one of the first big projects. We tore that whole thing apart, all the way down to the frame. We got got T-boned right in front of our house.
Oh.
We were on a dead end street, and the story was the kid was gawking at a neighbor gal that was good looking, I guess. We never had anybody good looking, and I was good, so I don't. And then the whole family ended up moving around that whole block, so it didn't matter.
Uh-huh.
So, but anyways, whoever was a neighbor at that time Kid was gawking at whoever, and then it was on gravel. It was all gravel that time, and then slid to a stop in the side of my mom's Chevelle because it died at the stop sign, sad. And so it's like 20 feet from the driveway, and so we ended up tearing it apart, taking it all the way down to frame, sanded it, sandblasted it, and yeah, so I probably started that when I was 10, I suppose. So yeah. Talk about a crash course on building cars.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Literally.
Yeah. I never taken a car apart. Never helped take A-frames apart. All that jazz. And I almost cut the springs because some of the bolts were rusted really bad. And I knew they showed me how to use the torch, so I was going to cut the springs. That's one big story. That was like I remember it. My dad was like, no, don't cut the spring on the A-frame. And I guess his dad did that back in the day on the farm and the car was on the side or whatever, cut it, the spring, A-frame blew apart, hit him in the head, off the car.
Yeah.
And so that was like, So we put a jack under it and compressed everything, and then, then we cut the bolts and stuff, and they got it to where we couldn't get them broke loose, so we just worked out.
So what year Chevelle?
71. Okay. I still have it. I do.
Chevelle's awesome.
Yeah, that was a long journey on that car. I love that car. It's the outside, it's all patina and rust, because oh goodness, man, where do I start? This is a big story with all these cars. So, but that one, we worked on it until I got to be a high schooler, a senior year, and then I moved off, and then it sat, and then ended up, I got married, found my wife, and so it sat for 12 years, and down the road we have a family and all that stuff, and then I don't know, I kept moving that car with me. I was like, this car's not leaving my side, and then Dad had passed, when I was 23, I think, 24. And so I was like, I've got to get it done. I finished the car with one arm, as my shoulder was done then, and stuff like that. So then we rebuilt that whole car. I got it finished up. And so, but I've left the body where it's at. So I know we wouldn't agree on how the style, but I don't know, just that car earned its rust, man.
It sounds like it.
We call it a muscle rat. I call it a muscle rat, that style of car. So chassis done, the interior's done, the motor's done, and it's got copper plating and everything. It's a beautiful ride. And then, but the outside's just patina, so it's a kind of a sleeper. And I got a Punisher skull on the hood. It's kind of I hand drew everything and painted it and all that jazz.
Wow.
So there was it's been a lot of fun. So
I can see that. I mean, talk about an investment too. That should only increase in value by a long ways.
That one I got a lot more money than probably what I'll get out of it, but that's sentimental, and that's so like in our family, the kids, if they want one of them, they have to build one to earn it. Then I know they can respect the car. So,
exactly.
And take care of it. That's generational wealth is kind of my mindset and stuff.
Generational wealth is always good.
I want them to have it. I don't want no one else to have my stuff I built, within reason. I'm pretty sentimental about it.
And when you build it yourself, you really you appreciate what you've done there. When somebody else just gives it to you or something like that.
It doesn't. Don't get me on some of the shows and whatnot. I have a different perspective on that. I appreciate it all, but I appreciate building it myself, cars and stuff like that. So how we got stuck. My uncles, I guess they started before then too, because I always stayed with my grandparents. We were all in the same 2 blocks,
right? And
so the Hansens were on this one part of the street, and then another block down that was Martinez. So all their family there, and then I'd stay with my grandma Lola, and like every morning we'd have chorizo and eggs, and beans, and frijoles and tortillas, and then all the brothers or the sons, they would come in. And then every morning they'd have breakfast, and then afternoon they'd come over, they'd have dinner with Grandma and Grandpa, and then we'd always be in the garage out there. So that's pretty much where I started learning and being around them all. I just loved it. So my uncle Louis, he passed away. Unfortunately, he was like a dad to me. And then my uncle Marion Cisneros, he's my godfather, but he's like a dad to me. So I ended up making the kind of our own club, so to speak. So it's the HMCs, Hansen, Martinez, Cisneros, and I designed shirts and stuff. The hat, actually, that's what I designed.
I like that. I like that logo really well.
And the shirts are really neat and all that jazz. But it's a family group there, and that's what I've been. It's been that way ever since. Now my daughters are in it, my wife's in it, my brother.
So that's awesome. So you like to really, I don't know when you sleep, actually.
Your
construction, your cars, you're on here.
Yeah.
So
I'm a night owl, so I'll stay up, keep working on all my projects.
especially when you really like doing it too.
Yeah.
So I mean, so how many cars do you have?
I have three.
Three?
I
Okay.
have my '78 Malibu I built,
Okay.
and that was my high school car.
Okay.
I got it for a handful of pictures. That's what I got.
Really? Okay, that's interesting.
Yep. My dad was on dialysis, and so this gal that was there, her son was handicapped, and he was on dialysis. But he liked pictures. It didn't matter what it was. Just he liked pictures,
Right,
photos, and
right.
stuff. And she's like, "Well, I know your son's looking for a car to fix up or for a high school car. We didn't have a lot of money and stuff, so I was working a lot,
Right.
in the yards, paper route, detasseling, everything I earned, I saved. Dad taught me money, a lot of
Good.
money sense. That
That's
give
good.
me the money, save it away.
Yep.
Anyways, and so he told me the deal, so I got a whole bunch of pictures. Me, Louie, and Marion. We went up to Ansley.
Okay.
Pulled down there, and he said it's a Chevelle, and I'm like, oh, cool. I'm excited, I'm gonna get my Chevelle.
Right.
And we pull up, and I seen this car, and I'm like, oh, I did not like it at first. This
Oh, really? Okay.
it was square body, so
okay.
it was an 78, and I'm like,
Okay.
I don't know about this, but it's pretty much free. Beggars can't be choosers. I'll take it. We can
True.
make anything pretty.
Yeah.
So, and that I love my car. I love that car. I love it. So that is
Cool.
That's my Christine, man.
Is that Christine?
It's my Christine. So Joker is my nickname, and that's my Joker 78 is the car.
Okay.
But yeah, I built that thing from ground up, and I said me and my best friend Vincent Sumstein.
Oh yeah.
We were the only two in our class that still have our high school cars.
Really?
So yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
So we parked them on the stoop before they tore the
Okay.
school down. On those
Oh,
old
yeah.
roundabouts, we parked them up there and took a picture. And
Yep.
dumb luck had it. We had a bunch of they were a little they were classmates, but they were little underclassmen and stuff
Right.
like that. Some on our same grade, but they were in the neighborhood and seen us, and they walked out. I'm like, no way. So I got a bunch of selfies of everybody around it. But it was cool.
That's really cool.
So
So we're talking about Christine. Would you do a Christine? Would you want a Christine?
yeah, I did a TikTok on that actually. We were out on our property on 40. My boy and I I was doing a cruise around, and there was a car tucked in the trees, and I'm like, no effing way. And I stopped, and I thought it was an Edsel, what it was.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
seen the back side of it, and I thought it was Christine. It wasn't a Fury. It wasn't a Plymouth Fury, but I was like, this is cool. So I had to do a TikTok on it. So
So
but
Christine,
yeah.
can you find those? I mean, there's probably people.
Oh, I guarantee they're around.
So you'd have with the flames when you got it all done and stuff. I mean, the flames come like they had in this movie.
The flame were on the car.
I know.
Yeah, no. God, I've thought about doing something along the lines, leaving them a little more beat up and stuff like that. So, but yeah, no, if I found one, maybe. I don't know. I got the 78 Malibu.
Okay.
And then I have that 71 Chevelle that was my parents or whatever.
Okay.
And I finished it up. And then I got a red 71 Chevelle.
Oh, really?
And I
Okay.
got that one
Okay.
from my buddy Vinny. They had it since '93 stored. And
Okay.
when we opened up the door, it was covered in dust. Tires were flat. And,
True.
it looked rough. And the price that they gave us to offer, said
Right.
sell it for. My wife's like, I don't know. And I was like, we're buying it.
Uh-huh.
I asked, but we're still buying this. It's the price is right.
Yeah,
We
right.
can fix it. Look what we've done with these other rides. I mean, jeepers.
Right.
So yeah, no, it's.
I was just waiting for you.
It was. It's a beautiful ride. And I've done a lot more to it as well. So changed a lot of inner just accessories on the engine compartment, but it's all copper inside. Now we're redoing the trim.
Nice.
Still got to do the frame and all that jazz, but I still drive it. I build them to drive, man.
You do, because some people just let them sit.
Yeah.
It's just like, enjoy them.
Yeah, ain't no trailer queen. I put it that way.
Okay, I love it.
We drive them. We do the tour in Nebraska every year.
Do you really?
Yeah,
Okay.
a 600-mile drive. The amount of people you meet on that is amazing. And then, so
Nice.
I'll bring that story up if you don't mind.
Sure, that's awesome.
So they always have a party at the end of it. Not interested in that party that they have and stuff. So I always sit in the parking lot. And I'll drink some beers and
Sure.
stuff, and talk
Right.
to the hot rodders.
Yeah.
And one of a dang good buddy, Lewis Mooring out of Broken Bow, damn a good guy. But he had a 31 coupe. I think it was. Don't get mad at me if you see this, but I think it's a 31 coupe.
Yeah.
That story behind that car alone is amazing.
Really?
It went from beauty queen to an ugly duckling. The guy that
Really?
had it
Okay.
was in Hot Rod magazine with that car. Drove it all over the state. Ended up wrecking it, and then
Oh.
it was in a barn. And Lewis, I don't know how he met the gentleman, but he ended up finding that car, bought it, and fixed it up to what it is now. And that thing it's a sweet ride.
Wow.
It's still kind of rough on the outside, but that makes the story. I mean,
It does,
it earned its dents.
Yeah.
If they could talk, oh my God,
That's true.
cars are huge to me. So
If they do all have their own personalities.
very much so. God, they got a
So,
person.
yeah, they could talk.
So,
And like you said, leaving it rough, it seems to be a trend where they just leave it, and like,
yeah.
it's like, this doesn't really look cool if it was, but they just, kind of sand it out and a little bit it looks like. And
Yeah.
so,
There's but yeah, no, I don't want to get this story wrong, but Louis was, because that's like the highlight of my year. The tour's fun. The driving, I love driving the highways, but getting to see my buddy Louis
yeah.
is a highlight of my year every year. Him and Scott Blackburn and those boys. But I went out to drink beer with him or whatever, bowl up BS,
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking to, I want to say the guy was in his 90s or late 80s, really
Right,
late 80s,
right.
either way. But he was driving a certain car. But the story he had was when he was younger. That was when the first years they started putting up. Oh, it was like a red light on the dash stuff. So it started running low on oil.
Oh,
Lincoln.
sure.
And this gal didn't know it, and it's like the first V8s in these cars, And anyway, she didn't know what the light was. Ran out of phone, seized up the motor.
That's
So
bad.
she took it back to the dealership, and they had the way it sounded like the suits from Chevy or whatever showed
Right.
up. Take the motor out, put the new motor in, and the guy was working there. He's like, "What do we do with the motor?" I'll put it in the scrap pile. So they put it on the scrap pile. Well, youngsters that are into cars, what do you think?
They're gonna, yeah.
It's trash. It's mine now. So
Exactly,
they went,
yeah.
They took the motor. Well, those guys showed back up. I don't know, a week later or whatever, and they wanted that motor back. Well, we already scrapped all that. It's gone. So like whatever. Well, they ended up waiting. I mean, because it's brand new engine and stuff, So
Yeah.
and V8, so he had to end up waiting quite a while to get parts to rebuild this motor. Gets it, rebuilds it, and he put it in an old like 27 coupe or 27 Roadster, something along those lines. Could have been a 32 coupe, but put it in that thing. And so to this day, I think that gentleman probably is like, this is the first V8 in a 27 Roadster or something like that.
Wow.
So I think it was a 27. But either way, that's pretty cool to see.
That is.
The very first hot rodder in my mind, So I wish I could have talked to that guy. He had already went to sleep, We had to wake up early, go rodding or driving again. So
No, that is amazing. So okay, and then in addition, you have your own business. I mean, you have where you do construction.
Yep.
And you build houses, and you do.
Yeah, remodels, additions, bathrooms. Yeah, full builds. 308 Construction's our company. So because we're area code's 308, and we like to rifle around. So
Okay,
I don't
of
know.
course. So how long you been doing that?
I've been helped building since I was 12 with my dad and stuff. My uncle had his own business, and so I had to help out, do roofs. That's how I learned to do roofs and all that stuff. But yeah, that's been doing that since. But our business we've had for almost 5 years on our own.
Okay.
But I worked for a gentleman in town there for 15, 16 years, something along those lines. Let's track. It was a long time. So yeah.
No, I mean, and I'm sure I know you're busy. So on that. So what is? I mean, you have so many hobbies. What are some other hobbies? Do you have any other hobbies? You probably don't have time.
Yeah, woodworking. I mean, of course,
Do you do woodworking? Really?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I have my own wood shop, so I like doing crafts. What I say crafts. I like building my entertainment centers, shadow boxes. I like doing those for military men and women. I like doing those. I like specializing. It's not just a regular triangle with the flag in it. I like specializing the box for that person, what their interests were, what they liked. I like incorporating that into a special box.
Sure.
So I did one for Anderson's, and I saved the casings at the I think they saved them for me. Either way, but there was another one I saved the casings at a 7-gun salute, but they saved those for me. So I made a box. It was on a I don't know. I hand turned a bunch of knobs to put on it too. So it's like on a platform, and then the flag holder was
Sure.
on top.
Okay.
Put on the front. I had a bump out, and then I put mirrors in the back, and then I put 7 rounds on that, and then so the mirror behind it looked really neat. And then I put his name tag on the top.
Very nice.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Then I did my brother's when he retired from the Navy. But I did a box, an actual shadow box, a lot of inlaid walnut drawers, hidden drawers.
Really
stuff like
nice.
that.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so that way, when you open it up, there's a tray, and then his uniform would be in the bottom, and
Okay.
his hat, and then when you put them in the tray, it has all his medals, his ribbons,
Sure.
all
Okay.
those, all that stuff, and then in the top of it, he tied all the knots. 'Cause I'm not a knot guy.
Okay.
Can't tie a knot, you tie a lot. But so
That would be me.
yeah. So, but he did all the knots, and so we put those in the back of the box, and then get the labels on them of what each knot was, and the monkey knot, all those jazz, bowling, really neat. So I did learn quite a bit from him on that, and I still use some of those knots today and whatnot. So, but yeah.
So you take pictures, Wolf? You can get. Are you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram.
I was gonna say all that stuff. You could really showcase
I
yourself
should.
too.
I don't promote myself real good. I should. And then some of that is, I don't know, some of it pride, but I don't like anybody taking some of my ideas, I guess.
That I can understand too.
I have a hard time with that. And then, I mean, anything and everything's been done under the sun, especially blacksmithing. That's another hobby of mine. But yeah, a lot of that stuff.
I mean, that is. So wood. What kind of? Do you like a particular wood to work with more than another?
Honestly, I love Osage. Osage
Really?
is my favorite wood. It's beautiful wood. It's
really hard wood?
It's really hard.
Okay, I figured it
It's
might be.
really hard. I make handles for my hammers, tomahawks, and then I carve into them the design and all that stuff. Used to carve them, paint them, and then now I do it like a burner.
Okay.
It's already black and done. And I use true oil, which is what you use on guns.
Oh, is that okay?
And it's like a finish, but it's
Okay.
beautiful. So
So
I use that.
do you mill your own? Can you buy that lumber, or
no.
or do you have to go out and get it?
I find it in tree lines.
Yeah, okay.
Certain people have it, and and then I do have a big log. I do have to have that one milled. A native sawmill. I found them when I had my shoulder out, so I did take it there. But otherwise, a lot of handle stuff. I just find it, cut it, and let it dry, and then hand carve. I hand carve most of it. So
I mean, that is so cool. I mean, so what is? I mean, 5-10 years down the line, what is the dream?
oh
Where
man,
would you like to be in 5 to 10 years,
Ooh.
or even maybe not in that many years?
been thinking about that. I mean, construction. I'm only 38, so
Okay.
I'm still fairly young, but
Sure.
from what I've had to do growing up and stuff has taken a toll on me over years and stuff, So I don't know exactly what I want to do to that extent. Honestly, I would love to do woodworking, designing and stuff like that. If I could just do that constantly, I would.
Good.
Custom. Get into the rendezvous where there are guys in rendezvous that's all they do. They make stuff and they travel around,
Oh, really? Okay.
So I love traveling. So that's a dream of mine. I like to do something with my brother as well. He's getting into shirt design and stuff like that.
Really? Okay, that's
7
cool.
CTs is what he's trying to do, or decade creations.
Okay.
He's a phenomenal artist and stuff like that. But honestly, I suppose my overall, I got told my wife was several times. So it's like, honestly, what I could really see myself doing is just flipping some hot rods. Doing something.
You doing
and
that,
getting rid
yeah.
of those. All my hobbies is what I do. Construction is my career. My dad always said, pick the one hobby that you're willing to lose. Because at some point it becomes work and stuff. Construction still hasn't become really work in my mind because I really cherish what I do. I love designing coffered ceilings, crown mold, custom woodwork, custom mantles. I love doing that for people, making that house original.
Yes.
But people don't have. So that's what I like doing. Craftsman style homes is what I like. There's a lot of styles of different homes, generic and stuff, but I like the old craftsman style.
Yeah, you're kind of the artist in that, because we were talking before we got started here that a lot of houses and stuff they've lost that,
Yep.
And,
Simple, easy, get up, get out, that type of thing. That's not me. I like seeing steel. I like seeing the raw brick.
Yep.
My house the first one I designed for myself was the exterior looks Victorian, so I had a lot of giant corbels in there too.
Okay, cool.
And then the interior was going to be industrial because of my hot rod life, all that stuff. I like that. My wife is all on board with it. She likes that rustic look. And then the new one I just designed it now because when I designed it, price it'll be a little hard to attain.
Yeah,
so
I hear you.
unless something happens, you never know.
Yeah.
But it kind of looking at a kind of a barndominium style thing.
Oh, yeah, those are
house
cool.
too. So yeah.
I could definitely see those.
But I have a lot of different industrial factors in that too. So a lot of thought things have been done with those as well.
Good.
That's an art of their own. I love them. So, but
So would you ever want to retire?
no,
I couldn't see you retiring.
not really.
So,
I mean, if I would love to just to work on cars. If that's
well, yeah,
Since
that'd be a pretty.
retiring, I would-
That sounds like a win-win.
yeah, that would be. But stopping working, no, I'm not the type to stop and just sit.
Me either.
My mind is always going. The gears are turning.
Uh-huh.
Creativity is always sparking.
What's next?
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
Those are some of my big things. And like I said, blacksmith too. So I use a lot of that stuff in my car work as well. So
Really?
Yep.
So once you learn how to become a blacksmith.
That was the best buckskin in the world too.
That was too. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That all led into that because I had a buddy that he passed away, but he was one of the head blacksmiths for Nebraska for a while.
Okay.
Randy Colling, not Randy Collingham. Oh, sorry, dude. I'll think of it. Anyhow, but I went to one of his classes or whatever and showed us how to do basics.
How to
But
do
I'm
that.
artistic enough. Like me and my buddy, Scab Leatherworks and stuff. He is an amazing blacksmith.
Okay.
I think he does that for a lot of side hustle, a lot of money and leather work. Beautiful. But you're not
Wow.
gonna find a better
Yeah, that's all.
better artist in my opinion. Brandon Cook is the man on that. But anyways, we went to the same thing and then
Okay.
took off. I do what I need at the time. I wasn't getting into sell stuff. So I make my own broadheads.
Sure, right,
stuff
right.
like that, and target points and hooks and I made my gear shifter. I guess what I did.
Did you? Okay.
Both my cars did
Awesome.
2 gear shifters, so that was a lot of fun.
It's pretty cool when you can do all that yourself. You can
Right.
do it, you know what you want, you can just go ahead and do that.
Well, I'm not real
Right.
good at explaining myself sometimes, you know. So if there's anybody that has that ability and stuff, I have a real hard time getting exactly
from-
what I want. So I'm like, I'll just do it myself.
There
So
you
that's
go.
usually what I end up doing. So
I think that's awesome. So,
shirts, designs, and stuff like that. Sailor is man. I've drawn a lot of hand drawings that take it to them, and I have a vision. And one of the guys that does my art stuff has nailed it every time. He's
Okay.
gotten to know my style, and
That's
just
worth-
knocks it
worth a
out of the
lot.
park every time. So in Sailor, there's super people. I don't know if you.
I do know them.
Yeah.
yep.
Kyle Sailor. He got my business 100% because we went in to see if he had some shirts or whatever.
Sure.
He brought us in after hours. He's like, oh, just come in. You can come in the back. You
Cool.
can go through. If you can fill your order with this, I'll give it to you at a decent price. I'm like,
Yep.
heck yeah.
Yeah,
So I was like-
yeah.
And he remembered my name, and that's huge for me. And I'm like,
Especially in this day and age, yes.
100%. You got my business 100%, man. So
Oh,
yeah, it's a gun shop owner in Carter, same thing. You remember my name first time meeting me? Like, all right, I'll be in here from here on out. So
it is. It's
So-
it's that personal touch you don't get very much anymore.
right.
So, do you like to write?
I do. I'm not real good at it. I
Okay.
love. I have a vivid imagination.
Okay, that'd be good.
So I struggle at the format. I can learn it.
Sure.
I just need the formats and stuff how to write. But yeah, actually, I've written. I've been working on a TV show. I guess.
Oh, awesome.
So, and it's
Okay.
called The Crew is what it is.
Okay.
I don't tell many people about that one,
Yeah.
but it's I've been working on it for quite a while. I have pretty much the whole episode pretty much written out. I just
Uh-huh.
need to get all the actual verbal part. done.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
but it's because construction world, you know. You can't make up the stories. The things that happen in the
That I'm
construction
sure
world
of,
are,
yeah.
oh my God, hilarious. It's like if someone walked around with a dang camera on them the entire time, you know, OSHA's gonna be there. Heck
Yeah.
with them, you know, but they're gonna.
Uh,
I mean, the stuff that happens.
so you
on
have
set
your own
is
channel,
ridiculous.
have TV producer? You can have. I mean,
I would love to do that. That's on. That would be one of my dreams. Honestly, that's huge. It's, I would still, and actually, I can pursue it. There's nothing holding me back.
Right.
You know, it's just time with the kids and everything. Right
Yeah.
now, that's the only thing. So.
yeah.
But I push a lot of my interests and stuff on the kids too. I wouldn't say push, but I involve them a lot.
Sure, and I think
then,
they'll always remember that too. I'm sure.
So, like I was technically forced in the shop in the garage and stuff, but
Uh-huh.
I don't regret it at all. There's nothing about it. It was work. Yeah, it was hard,
Yeah.
but I don't regret because everything I know now is stemmed from
Yeah.
that. So,
Yep.
and I
That's
honor
me.
those before me with that. With you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
I do.
And so now my kids, I say, well, come on out here, but I'm not as persistent as it was with my dad and stuff.
And
Yeah.
probably maybe a lot of good memories, maybe too.
Oh, very much.
So,
So, a lot of good
yeah.
memories, some rough ones, but most are all good. So there's always good out of the back. So it was in the car world and that we're growing up with all this, if you've seen American Chopper, that was me and my dad.
Was it okay? Really? Okay.
At the bad times for sure. My brother was definitely the comedy relief. Mikey, oh my God! And my brother was in the Navy, so
Really? Okay.
he could only come back. He'd be back a couple weeks a year on leave, So, but when he did, get put to work, we ran the shop. So it's just that's how it was. But it was great. Loved it so much. And then like I say, now my kids are out. My daughter Grace, my oldest, she loves the car work. Loves it. And I got her '74 van.
Nice.
She earned that for helping me put a motor in my Malibu. So.
Very good.
So building a car at that age anymore is a little tough.
I see that.
You can't get the jobs like when I went growing up or you.
Yep.
There was no age really. You just got to get to work.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Now there's stipulations and rules and regs, all that.
That I'm positive of. Yeah. And in everything.
Yeah.
So
it hinders the money flow on that for them to get the ride. So, and like I say, I'm not one to. Well, I'm just going to buy you a car, Like, no, you got to earn it. So
you do. Like I said, you appreciate it then.
Yeah, gives them a little sense of that's mine, that type of thing. So yeah, those are a bunch of my hobbies.
I mean, that's a lot. I mean, that's awesome too. So, so do you like to travel?
Love traveling. Yeah. Love traveling. I love getting in the cars and traveling in the hot rods.
I don't blame you. I would love that too.
A lot of car shows and stuff that I want to go to. Hunting's taken me a lot of different places. I'm not a guide. I don't do any of that. I like hunting for me or hunting with buddies. That camaraderie alone there is too, especially in the muzzleloader world, because we still hunt. I will hunt in my buckskins. I don't wear a whole lot of camo. It's most pictures if you see me hunting, I'm in my buckskins, shooting my cap lock rifle and stuff like that. Okay. But yeah, I've been to Texas, traveled down there hunting.
Really? Okay.
Love Texas. I like Texas
I love
Lone Star beer.
That's pretty good.
And then I met a buddy here in Nebraska. He was hunting up here with us, and then got to be good friends. And then he invited us to Freer, Texas.
Okay.
Way down south.
Is it okay?
And needless to say, my family come from there. So my grandpa.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, my grandfather grew up in Eagle Pass, and then we had they moved around. They in like around just north of Freer. I don't know all the town names, but that whole circle from Eagle Pass over towards Freer and stuff, and then San Antonio, all that stuff, that was my family group. My mom was born in San Antonio. Okay. So a lot of them, and then they worked their way to Nebraska. Yeah, Grandpa, I'm the third generation from Mexico, I'm pretty sure. With Grandpa, my mom, and then me. Okay. So, but they came over from the Revolution. That's why they came over.
Wow. Okay.
So one of the brothers fought for Pancho, the other one fought for the president. So, and then things got if one of they consider them traitors, whatever. If one caught the other, so
exactly.
They would terminate the family if they were still there. So that's why they moved from there. So in 1910, 1911.
Is there any family left down there?
Oh yeah. But I don't know who their grandpa is. Like I know we do, but I don't know them. But most of the family we know is Texas, stuff like that. So
Texas is good. When I got out of college, I lived in Dallas and that area. Yeah. So, and Texas is like a little country. I mean, it's definitely. Anybody that's not been to Texas, and I really like Texas too.
Yeah, I love Texas. But yeah, and then we've traveled from Virginia. Been there a couple times. I flew when I was just out of high school. My brother was going to be stationed in Virginia, Williamsburg, so flew down there, moved him in, or drove. We drove there, sorry, and then I flew back. That sucked. I hadn't flown again till this last year. I hadn't flown since then because it was a bad experience. And then,
can be, that's for sure.
Oh God, it sucked. And I got checked every airport. They randomly select. I'm like, come on. And I didn't look like this then. I was clean cut.
That's usually my wife. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if she's going to get on the plane.
Yeah. So it ended up, we've driven that way several times. And then when he retired, we drove back down that way too. I love the Smoky Mountains. Those are beautiful. Knoxville, Tennessee. I like Tennessee a lot. We stayed for a wedding there, drove that way. We constantly drive that direction. I've never been west that much.
Really?
So
okay.
Utah or Wyoming? Not Utah, sorry, Wyoming and Idaho. Just went a couple years back. That's okay. That's the farthest
west. Have you ever been to California?
Never been to California. I wouldn't mind going. So food drives me. I love food. So honestly, I'd like to go to Cali. I want to try Trejo's tacos. Okay. Back to the movie thing. Danny Trejo is one of my all-time favorite actors.
Okay.
So that dude's story. If you ever know much about him, look him up. His story,
Okay.
how he came up, and how he's ended, and he's very religious. So that has a lot to do with the background. It's amazing.
You need to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
I like San Diego, and I don't LA's there. San Diego's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So it's definitely talk about a different world too. So but
I'd like to check it out. So for sure, I'd like to go west for sure. So
Yeah.
Vegas, I'd like to go. I like playing craps.
you haven't been to Vegas?
Never been to Vegas. No.
Oh, I've been there 4 times.
Really?
Uh,
No kidding. I heard it's a good time.
It's talk about eating. It is everything goes. Just walk down the strip, everything goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I stayed at the MGM Grand. I mean, beer pong. It's just like they make anything. They make every way so they can get your money. So
Yeah.
you may not gamble, but they're going to get it some other way if they don't get it that way. So,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I didn't think I'd like Vegas. I love Vegas. So, but yeah, you need to go west.
It's on my hit list of places to go for sure. So yeah, and then been to Florida. Well, my sister-in-law lives in Florida, so
Okay.
me and the wife decided to go down there for our anniversary last year and last December. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to Florida, I'm going to bass fish.
Yeah.
Because they got monsters,
Oh,
and
man, down there.
the price wasn't bad to get a guide for like the 2 of us for 10 hours was not a bad deal at all. And so yeah, I got to see a gator swim by.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were catching 5-6 pound largemouth
Wow.
almost every cast. It was amazing. I was after bigger, like an 8-9 pounder is what I wanted.
So what part of Florida?
Ocala.
Okay.
Ocala, Florida.
Okay.
That was a fun trip because they have an app or whatever. People will rent their cars out, their personal cars out.
Sure.
So we had everything budgeted. We budget
Yep.
every year for
Yep.
our anniversary. And what we go to Omaha and we stay. I'm a bougie guy.
Okay.
I mean, I'm rough looking, but I like the higher.
Sure,
the finer
I'm with
things in
you.
line.
Yep.
So we've stayed at Hotel Deco. It's got the fancy
I have
place. I
stayed
love
there.
it.
That's
I
awesome.
love that.
Yeah.
I'll go down the rabbit hole any day.
Yeah. No, it's a
Wicked
cool
rabbit
place.
next to it, sweet
Yep.
bar.
Yep.
That's speakeasy.
Yep.
We stayed in what is it? Peregrine. Peregrine was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those fancier places we try to stay and get
Yep.
stuff and go eat out. But anyways, what we normally spend there, that and gambling, we just budgeted that and went to college, see her sister and Seafood. I'd never been there, and I would go back. But anyways,
Yeah.
we rented a car, so we spent some of that. It wasn't that bad a price. I think it was like $200-300 maybe
Uh-huh.
for. I think we had 8 hours, but we
Okay.
rented a Maserati. So I was like,
It's
this
the
is
time to do it.
kind of cool. And the guy had no limit on where you went. I could have went all over Florida with it, but I paid for gas. That's all that mattered. But we drove down to Cocoa Beach, checked out the ocean there, and then we ate in a really nice restaurant. I was like, I'm eating fresh fish this time. I've been to the coast, I don't know how many
Right.
times, not ate fresh fish. Stupid. So this
Yeah,
time we
and
finally did.
It's
So
so much better. I mean,
Oh.
it is really good. So,
super, all that stuff, amazing.
I love Florida too.
So-
So, I mean, I like traveling too, but
Yeah.
I'm glad you did a Maserati too.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I did. It was a lot
Okay.
of fun. I didn't
Okay.
get on it too crazy because I didn't know if they had like a meter in there or something.
Yeah,
So and the
that
cameras.
make you wonder, yeah.
So with all the technology these days, you always be watching like.
Yep.
But I got on a little bit and I'm like, it's pretty cool. I think
Yeah.
I'll be take it off the line, but you're gonna kick my butt in the long haul. So yeah.
Yeah.
So but it was a lot of fun. We did that and fishing. Then we swam with manatees. We hit that.
Oh, I bet that would have been awesome.
So that was an experience. That was neat. So God.
Yeah.
And
You've
then
been doing a lot of traveling then.
yeah,
so,
this
okay.
last year was a big one. So we did we were Tennessee again,
Good.
Florida, and then Texas. Yeah, so those are the three this
Okay.
last year. Then now I'll probably stick around and hold them here for a while.
Yeah.
The funds and
I'm always ready to get out here when it starts getting to be winter. So.
Oh, that is no joke. I can see why people snowboard
yeah.
down to Florida.
So
or
can
whatever,
I.
so.
So, yeah, we went to Key West 2 years ago now. My sister's actually got a timeshare down there.
Oh, cool.
And we did an island adventure, went 12 miles out and ocean kayaked and I don't know what you call it, little dolphins and stuff.
Okay.
And did. Yeah, no, I don't know if I'd want to live in Florida in the summer.
Yeah,
So,
I've heard that. My sister-in-law says it's the humidity's different. So and then I don't know what Tennessee's like either. So
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Louisiana's on honestly my list to go. I want to get some gators. I want to go gator hunting or night fishing out there for alligator gar, any of that stuff. That is the big one on my list more than anything. I'd love to go to Montana, Elkhorn, or Colorado, but
that looks really beautiful too. I've
Man,
never been to Montana, so
the dime is,
yeah,
I don't know,
it takes
it's gotten outrageous, and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know, it's not logical for me. So I'm like, nah, that's
yeah.
here and gone. So I was like, I'll do things that are still not so commercialized and have some fun
Yeah.
with it. So that, and then I love the culture. There's like HQ bar in Minden.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite bar.
Yep.
The bartender, we call him Superman. His name's Clark Kent.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, Christopher Reeves, man. It's Christopher Reeves. Either way,
Yeah.
we call him Superman.
Uh-huh.
And it's just uncanny. My nickname's Joker, and then
Uh-huh.
there's another Christian that they call him Batman.
Love it.
So, but he's from Louisiana, him and his wife, and so they've, told me all kinds of different stuff from down there. So that's on my list.
You need to go. I went last year. I
Really?
in New Orleans, and we went on an airboat.
Oh, cool.
And the alligators, the alligator came up on there, and it's like, because he was pushing it off, and it's like, so if he gets him, and I'm not getting in the water.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah.
But they liked marshmallows. The alligators. I mean, even a little more. I mean, the little alligator, he had marshmallows sticking out, and it's just like, I don't think because they were in the yards, sunning themselves. It's like, I don't think I want that in the yard. But it was awesome down there.
That's cool.
And alligator, good to eat too.
Yeah, I've had gator. Not fresh gator, but I've had gator. That's on
New
my
Orleans
list.
is very, and that New Orleans, Duval Street, French Quarter is all very, very different too.
Yeah.
Talk about a party atmosphere. There's a parade whenever.
Yeah.
So,
And he said there's like 5 different, would you say cultures, I guess, or however down there. So yeah, the French and Canadian. And
well, it was weird because we
Bio
couldn't figure out why the street names would change all the time, and it was where the different ones were at. They couldn't agree on a name, so it's like, this is really hard to find our way around here because the street
Right.
names you're on the same street, but it can change names.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
it was very awesome. It was in May, so it was pretty nice to over there last year. So
Not too humid.
no, it wasn't humid at all. It
I
was
imagine.
beautiful.
Pretty
So
bad.
yeah. So Sam, before we end the podcast, anything else you would like to add to or tell the guests?
I don't know. You ever see me around? Just come talk to me, I guess. Ask me questions if you're intrigued in any of this stuff. But yeah, I got tons of hobbies. Yeah, the guns. And yeah, we shoot a lot of competition. And like I say, shotgun. And I'm helping my son. He's getting into shooting.
Cool.
Trap and stuff. He did really well last year. And so that's I'm very prideful on that, getting to help coach my own kids and stuff. So sports and football, wrestling, all that jazz. But yeah.
I still don't know when you sleep.
Yeah. It's minimal sleep. I sleep when I'm dead, I figure.
There you go. That's not a bad way to look at it too. So, well, Sam, thanks for being my guest on the Dream
Thanks
Catcher
for having me.
podcast.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this greatly. So, and I gotta find out even more. So, so on that, we'll end this episode of the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, take care.